April 15th, 1989. Liverpool faced Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup semi-final at Hillsborough Stadium. Fans turned out in their thousands for this game, with hope to see their team win and reach the final. Families waved off their loved ones as they headed down to Sheffield, not knowing that 96 Liverpool fans would not be returning home.
Football supporters died in the most tragic accident for the sport ever in this country. Jimmy Hill and I were there, and it becomes the sad duty tonight for those of us normally concerned with the lighter side of television reporting to deal with a sombre subject. First of all, of course, our sympathies go to the families of those concerned. But what exactly happened? And vitally important, why?
So these are the newspapers that we stock now since we don't sell the Sun. I don't think the Sun will ever forget what they actually said, and they'll never live it down.
Do you think it'll ever be forgiven?
No, never.
We do some research into the Sun newspaper in Liverpool, and it's become almost an impossibility to find the newspaper in my local shops, and much of that is down to the Total Eclipse of the Sun campaign, and I'm going to be researching the impact that the campaign has been having.
Paul from Total Eclipse, he's one of the admins, he came in and asked me to stop selling it, so I just thought, yeah, do it. He did come in here a couple of times, but sometimes I wasn't in, but when he did come in, I just thought, yeah, he was sound, Paul. I just rang them up and I just spoke to them and said I just don't want it to be delivered anymore. They did ask a reason why. I just said, well, you know, I don't really want to sell it anymore, you know, to do with Hillsborough. Now the customers that do come in, the ones that really don't like the Sun, they're made up, like they keep coming in now saying, oh, best shop, brilliant, made up, first one in Birkenhead. So yeah, it's done me a favour really. I've always hated the Sun. I've had the shop 16 years and I should have stopped it 16 years ago really. But obviously worrying about losing customers, but to be honest, I don't care anymore.
Just doing some research on the Total Eclipse of the Sun campaign, and judging from their Facebook group, the support that the group has got has been phenomenal. The campaign's got over 50,000 members and it's just continuing to grow and grow. Hiya Paul, you okay? Yeah, Anfield. On Saturday, yeah. Yeah. Are you doing leafleting before the game, yeah? Yeah, sound. Yeah, we'll be there about an hour or so before kick-off, that okay? Yeah, sound. Cheers. Thank you. See you then. Bye.
It's going to be in Liverpool, where no one buys the Sun. That's cause and effect. That's what you get when you call proud people scum. In my dreams, man, this informal ban extends across the nation. No one nibbling at the current bun would fill me with elation. Don't buy the Sun. Celebrity genitalia failure is not one of my concerns. I like to put down a paper and walk away with something learned. I don't need the Sun. But know the Sun don't care, but Tony Blair did them wicked things he did, and he did. Just bear in mind that Murdoch's godfather to his kid, that's his godson. All refugees are ISIS, the unemployed are on the rob. Ian Duncan Smith was an honourable man who was doing a fine job. Let's give a shout out to the Scousers, la. It's a splendid thing they've done. You know it's true, so I'll ask of you, don't ever buy the Sun. Don't buy the Sun. Thank you. Cheers.
Here today to protest against the co-ops. We've asked the co-op on several occasions to look into not selling the rag, to which they haven't convened to not selling it. So we're just here to draw attention to local public and passing trade as a protest against the co-op nationwide still selling the Sun newspaper.
This campaign to keep the Sun out of Liverpool is very close to my heart because one is I was at Hillsborough, two is I lost a really close member of my family at Hillsborough, and the heartache that that paper brought to this city will never ever be forgotten. Till we get shut of the paper out of this city, we will not rest. And as you can see over the road, the way the campaign is going, we're doing it in a respectable way, like we've always held our respect in this city, and we've always held our head up high, and we've done everything with a bit of dignity.
I'm in Liverpool city centre to speak to members of the public to get their view on the Sun newspaper and the Total Eclipse of the Sun campaign. How do you feel about the Sun newspaper?
Hate it with a vengeance. After what he said, obviously at the Hillsborough, I've never bought it in the first place anyway, but it's just scum as far as I'm concerned.
How do you feel about the Total Eclipse of the Sun campaign? The campaign to back vendors to not stock the Sun newspaper.
Oh, it should run till no one in Liverpool or the outskirts of the region stop selling the Sun. No shop in Liverpool should be allowed to sell it. Just wrong to sell it, I think.
What do you feel about the rare few that do actually still buy the newspaper and continue that?
I don't think I could say that on camera, to be quite honest. The pure scum. The thing, and they've actually been proved that everything that was printed in the paper at that time was false. So the scum of the earth in my eyes,
Just talk us through what are the main aims of the campaign itself.
The main aims of the campaign, we said on the Facebook group, which is the main forum we use in addition to Twitter, but on the Facebook group we've said quite clearly that the aim of the campaign is to promote stores and establishments that don't sell the Sun newspaper and to encourage others to join them. So they are the stated aims of the campaign, yeah.
Do you reckon people have got misconceptions of what the campaign's about? It's not about censorship or anything like that. It's about giving people the opportunity to not sell the Sun and not buy the Sun, isn't it?
That's a great question, Joel. Yeah, there are people who have misconceptions about it. We've never used the word ban. We don't want to ban what is, whether we like it or not, a legitimate publication. And as a group of admins, and I think most of the people who understand what we're doing, we don't want to live in a country where you can arbitrarily ban a legitimate publication. It's about enabling freedom of choice. People in this city and the people around the country are entitled not to buy that newspaper if they don't want to. And that's been happening with obviously in Liverpool for 28 years, led by the Don't Buy the Sun campaign, which was done by Hillsborough Justice campaign. Great campaign, you know, really almost killed sales of the Sun newspaper. Our angle, of course, is a little bit different. We're about don't sell the Sun. So, as well as individuals having the right not to buy the Sun, news agents, petrol stations, anywhere where the Sun newspaper is sold, has the freedom not to sell it if they don't want to. And if they don't want to sell it, I don't know whether anyone out there should be forcing them to sell it. So we feel we're enabling choice, we're not restricting it in any way.
You mentioned about like news agents and petrol stations and stopping them from selling the Sun as your like bread and butter, if you will. What's been the biggest accomplishment so far for the campaign?
The biggest accomplishment? Well, we're delighted that there's 252 news agents or petrol station stores not selling the Sun newspaper. I think that's an accomplishment. The people really appear to enjoy the fact that there's now 54 taxis, you know, all wrapped up in a campaign message. So I think some people enjoy that as an accomplishment. Politically now there are 8 councils who have called on everyone in their area to stop selling the Sun. That's an accomplishment. In terms of sort of impact throughout social media, and I think throughout the general press as well. I think when Liverpool Football Club decided to stop allowing journalists into the ground, that had quite a bit of impact. You know, I mean, maybe you know, some people might say that it's more important when a city council passes a motion asking everybody to stop selling it, but in the world we live in, you know, football's big, and that seems to have been a really big impact.
Yes, just talk us through some of these photos. Notice this one here. Talk us through what this one's about.
Yeah, I love that photograph, Joel. That to me shows, I think it shows the depth of feeling against that particular newspaper, because that image comes from the Dingle. When myself and a few friends, we were in a newsagent's opposite, and the newsagents had decided to stop selling the Sun. So we turned up with all the lights and the banners to take a photograph of the newsagent. And on our way back, these girls were having, I think you call it a baby shower. They were all having drinkies and what have you in the hair salon. And they just knocked on the window, saw us, came out, and they said, oh, great. And they just all wanted to have a look at the literature and ask what it was about. And were quite happy to pose for a photograph. You know, whether it's significant or not in terms of the campaign, I just think it shows you the depth of feeling against that newspaper in this city.
There's 2 news agents who have, you know, agreed to stop selling the Sun.
Yeah.
Does that just highlight the misconception, because they don't look traumatised at all? They look, you know, they look very happy to not be selling the Sun.
Well, I met both of them and they were quite happy not to sell the Sun. On the left is a lad up in Aintree, and I think what you're referring to is very early on in the campaign, there was a couple of retail newsagent bodies sort of accused us of intimidation and violence and that sort of thing, which I'm quite happy to tell you is a load of rubbish, and you won't find anyone who'll give you that. What's
the reaction from Everton fans been like?
Well, just as you'd expect, Joel. Just fully supportive. Everton have been very supportive, haven't they, over the years of the issues around Hillsborough. I personally don't think there's any difference between Liverpool and Everton fans. I don't. We're all from the same city. You know, families are split down the middle. It's not like in, you know, maybe in Glasgow where you're split by religion, or in other derbies where you're split by geography. Liverpool and Everton fans are exactly the same. Obviously there's banter and they enjoy banter, but I don't think there's any difference. We've had massive support. We've leafleted and we've had banners outside Goodison on a few occasions, and those images you're looking at there is the crowd at Goodison waving our main banner, and it's as easy to do it at Goodison as it is to do it at Anfield. And to be right, we don't think it's about football anyway. It's not about Liverpool Football Club. It's not. It's just about decency. It's not even about the city of Liverpool or the area of Merseyside. It is just about decency.
I ask in support of a campaign that has gathered momentum and has been headed by Tom Eclipse the Sun, and I welcome their group here this evening.
What was put in the Sun newspaper was just absolutely disgusting. I know newspapers have the slants, and I myself and my wife have witnessed certain things that when we read in the paper, the British paper, it's completely distorted. But this is just disgusting, and I fully support this motion.
It talked about some fans pickpocketing victims. It talked about some fans urinating on the brave police that were actually there. It talked about some fans eating PCs that were given a kiss of life to some of their people. The story went on to talk of drunken fans viciously attacking rescue workers as they tried to revive fans.
Can I ask all those in favour of the motion, please stand?
Please stand.
Thank you. Can I ask all those against, please stand? Can I ask all those against, please stand? Thank you. Any further motion? Carried.
After speaking with Paul Collins from the Total Eclipse of the Sun campaign, now to meet with Councillor Liam Robinson from Made the Travel to discuss their support for the campaign.
We feel very strongly that because we're the democratic body that oversees the public transport network, that we're here to actually represent the people of the city region and make sure that we're giving them what they would want to see. And because of the kind of weight of feeling around the issue, we thought it was entirely appropriate that we support the campaign in the way that we did, and that's the reason we passed the motion.
The newspaper itself made the conscious decision to run with the truth headline after Hillsborough. Do you feel like the libellous and defamatory reports that followed are something that can never be forgiven from the newspaper?
I think they never will be forgiven, because it wasn't just the fact that they printed those horrendous kind of accusations, it was the fact that they stood by them for so long and never kind of properly apologised for the kind of hurt and the kind of terrible things that they said. So I think they're probably kind of wounds that never will heal.
2016 has been a monumental year for the campaign and the search for truth overall, and the truth finally did come out in court. The verdict ruled that the 96 were in fact unlawfully killed. Do you see it as justice finally served for the 96 victims?
I think it certainly is, but it's justice far too late. Why did people have to wait kind of well over 20 years for that, when actually the horrendous events that did happen, the truth should have been known straight away, and the fact that the police and the state and the media colluded in a cover-up is absolutely disgraceful, and it's the worst example of a number of other examples where that kind of collusion has happened over the past 20 or 30 years. Hillsborough was the worst example of the way that newspaper behaves in the worst possible ways, but it's not the only example. There's many other examples of how that newspaper and other parts of the Murdoch news stable do behave in such a disgraceful manner. So I think one of the things that we should always do as a city region is make sure that people wider across the rest of the UK understand that, because no one should be reading it because of the way it behaves.